Are you wondering why you keep attracting all of the wrong clients in your business and you can't figure out why aren't I getting the dreamy clients, the ones that I can't wait to work with? Well, today in this video, we're going to learn why. I'm Vander, an attorney turned entrepreneur who helps online coaches and service providers learn how to legally protect and grow their online businesses using my DIY legal templates and my ultimate bundle program. You can catch me here each week on YouTube sharing fresh legal tips, showing you how to legally protect your online business and how to grow it at the same time. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe below and ring the bell so you make sure you hear about every new episode that I release here each week on YouTube. In this video, I'll teach you the 3 reasons why you're not attracting the right kind of clients that you want to work with and who are legally smart for you to work with, and I'll show you how to fix it. Don't mind Hudson, he's down here having a chewy. The first reason why you might not be attracting the right kind of clients is because your content might not be speaking to the clients who you want to attract, right? So one issue that you want to take a look at whenever you're not getting people to inquire about your services or reach out to you, even engage with your content, is whether or not you're speaking to your ideal clients, the people who you've really taken the time to understand what they're struggling with, understand where they want to be instead, understand maybe even some of the things that they've tried, really painting like little moments in their day, right? If you're trying to speak to them versus maybe just talking about yourself or your own experience or your own day, like showing day in the life stuff or a little tip, right? Without converting it to how that actually helps your ideal client or relates to the issues that they're going through. So the example I always like to give, because I love Costco and I love butter, are that this one time I was talking with a customer and she was saying that sometimes for the Ultimate Bundle members, I'll host like additional free trainings and stuff like this on how to grow their businesses. So we were talking about social media content and she was saying that she created this post on Instagram that she thought was just going to be like a killer post. So I asked her what it was, and she said it was about Kerrygold, the butter that they sell at Costco, and how she was like sharing a tip with her followers about how Kerrygold was on sale at Costco. And she thought that this was going to be like the biggest hit of a post. So we started talking about it, and I asked her what her ideal customers really were, right? What were they struggling with? What did they want? What were some of their desires? What were some of the things that they wanted to change? And for her in particular, it was a particular lifestyle, maybe even a way of eating, all that kind of stuff. So we talked about how she could take that post and turn it into something instead that was helpful to her customers. Even though I agree it's helpful to hear that Kerrygold is on sale at Costco because that stuff is expensive. So we talked about how instead, let's talk about why Kerrygold, right? Why is Kerrygold better than any other butter if it is, right? What are the properties about it? What do you need to know if you're the kind of person who wanted to achieve this lifestyle or this diet or whatever to eat Kerrygold, right? So we're not here to debate the merits of butter and Kerrygold and keto and all of those things. The point is just taking an example of content that she was just sharing that was like a helpful tip, like, hey, this is on sale. It's usually really expensive. You can get it at Costco, which is helpful. But in terms of attracting her actual ideal client, we have to convert that content into learning more about why choose that butter over the other butter and how it helps them actually achieve their goals of whatever it was that they wanted to achieve, right? So we want to make sure that we're not making our content about us. We want to make sure that we're always making it about others and we're making our content as helpful as possible for them. Now, the other part of that is that we always want to make sure that we're inserting ourselves as part of the solution, right? So if we're identifying with our clients through our content and we're saying, I understand what you're going through. I understand what your frustrations, your pain points, your obstacles are. I understand also where you want to go instead, right? We have to then insert ourselves or our product and program as the solution. So if we're not drawing that connection for people, we can't assume that people are going to be able to do that on our behalf because people might be coming across your content for the first time. So one of the reasons why you might be attracting the wrong clients is because you're not speaking to the client that you really want in your content. And that means in actually talking about content the way that I just gave the example. It also means in presenting your brand, your company, yourself as the type of person, right? The kind of vibe and the community that you want to create. The second reason why you might be attracting the wrong kind of clients is because you might not be really clear on who you are, what you do and how you offer it, and also how you don't offer things, right? So really this comes back to scope of practice and what you're legally allowed to do. But sometimes I'll see that people who are, within a certain scope of practice will talk about content in a way that isn't consistent with the way that they actually work with people, right? So they think that in order to attract clients, they have to talk about like let's take a health coach, for example. They'll think that they have to talk about meal plans or a sample meal, sample eating for the day or something like this. And then they're confused why they're attracting clients who want somebody who's going to create meal plans for them when that's outside of a health coach's scope of practice and it's illegal for them to do, right, in most states. So that's why we want to make sure that our content actually lines up with the kind of work that we can offer to people in our services and programs. So a lot of times, from my perspective, this means taking a look at your programs, your offerings. If you're a coach and you do more one-to-one services, I would think about what are the things that come up a lot with your clients in practice, right? And turn those into mini pieces of content. So the things that you already are offering, the things that you might be talking about in your program, I would break those into like a million little splinters of content. And that would be the content that you would be putting out on social media, your website, YouTube, podcasts, wherever it is that you're promoting your business, so that the kind of content that you're putting out there is the very same thing that's attracting the people who want that kind of content, right? So then your program is going to make sense to them. So, for example, I have the Ultimate Bundle, which is a package that gives people 10 DIY legal templates and 35 on-demand video trainings. So it makes sense that in my day-to-day content, I am taking little bits and pieces of the Ultimate Bundle of things that come up that I teach inside of the Ultimate Bundle, and things that my Ultimate Bundle members, the thousands and thousands of them, talk about every single day in our Facebook community, right? So when somebody asks a really good question there, I'm like, oh, that must mean that my other ideal clients are asking about this. I'm going to teach a YouTube video on it, or I'm going to create an Instagram post about it. That can be a really helpful way to attract more and more customers who are like the customers that you're already attracting. And it's also a way to stay really consistently within your scope of practice, because whatever program or service that you're creating or have created, it should only contain, the kind of information that you can talk about legally online or in your business. And so if you're creating content from that as like little intro pieces of that, then I think it makes sense that, theoretically, then the content that you're creating should be legal as well. So that's a good way to make sure you're not attracting people who, with something that's outside of your scope. And then once they talk to you on the phone or take a look at your sales page, your product is totally different. So we want to make sure that those two things are very clear. The third reason why you might not be attracting clients that are the best fit is because you don't have a process in place in order to properly pre-qualify people before they either buy from you, work with you, or get on the phone with you if you offer sales calls. So it's really important that we have a step-by-step pre-qualification process in place in order to get people kind of warmed up and very clear about what some of the pieces are of working with us. So, for example, we want to make sure that people are financially ready so that we don't end up with people who, after the first payment, cancel their card and take all of your content, right? We want to make sure that people are actually looking for the kind of work that you offer, just like I talked about in number 2, that your scope of practice is consistent with what they're looking for, right? So if somebody is looking to have surgery, but you're a health coach, it doesn't make sense that they would sign up to work with you, right? That's an extreme example, but you know what I mean. So it's important, like in the example I gave before, if somebody is looking for meal plans, then a health coach isn't what they're looking for, right? They need to sign up with a dietitian who's registered where they live. So it's really important that we warm people up to the financial stuff, what we are actually able to do. And if it's a sales call, if you're someone who runs sales calls in order to work with your clients, it's really important that people also understand what that sales call is actually for, right? So a sales call is typically not, unless you've decided otherwise, is typically not a pick your brain call. It's typically not a free 20-minute session to pack in as many questions as possible. It's supposed to be a call for you to discover whether or not the two of you are a right fit and whether or not your program is a good fit for that person as well. So I want to see you have a solid pre-qualification process in place. So how can you do that? Well, I've got something to help. So when we're working on trying to attract the right kinds of clients and not wasting our time with people either in sales calls or ending up with the wrong clients who end up canceling their contract, it's really important that we pre-qualify them properly. If you don't, you're going to end up wasting a ton of your time and having a lot of really frustrating customer experiences. That's why I created my 3 free email template bundle called Pre-Qualify Before They Buy. It's a pack of 3 email templates I've designed just for you that you can get completely free by clicking the link in the description below. And with these 3 free email templates that I've designed and written for you, and even recorded a free video training that comes along with it, I will teach you how to implement these 3 free email templates to make sure that we are pre-qualifying and getting people on the phone or into your products who actually need your help, who are financially ready to invest in you, and who are safely within your scope of practice. Oh, and who don't push your boundaries when it comes to your sales call. That's important too. You can grab these free email templates using the link in the description below, and I hope that you'll leave me a comment letting me know how you like them. With that, I hope today's video was helpful. Hit subscribe before you go if you haven't already. Say hi to me in the comments, and with that, I'll see you next week.